Hello, student. This is Yanimam. Today we talk about the most famous essay of love, which is written by Francis Bacon. Now, let's start. The essay of love is about the widths of depraving and unchecked love, and the goodness of material love, and the purity of universal love, and the consequence of both. Three, reality of love. Bacon started the essay by tracing the form of love portrayed on the stage and the stories and the plays. It is unrealistic as it is often filled with the ecstasy and charms. It is shown to be noble in a lot of ways, essay to understand. But in real life, love is far more mischievous and difficult to understand, and it demands sacrifices, comparisons, and affairs, and loss of mere sorrow taught men and then the shown and the stage. Life of love can a catastrophe end. The present age is full of example of great men meeting the tragic circumstances in their pursuit of love. History and the past are full of stories of men of great substance and the state of being swept and their wits runs by the storms of love. They have been extravagant and by the madness of romance. On the besides, and there have been wise people who have refused to be consequence of for by the illusions of love and use their child's wits to remain to the snares and the tricks of flirtness and the temptations. Let history to be guide. Bacon gives some historical example to start the nations. He remains as the Marcus Antonius, who was a forthright and the ambitious and man, was given to the reign of powerful empire like Rome. Claudius was given the regain of the one third of Rome, well announced was impulses and the easily shown by the desires of the hurt. Claudius was wise, content, and shown to restraints. The consequently Antonius cheers to triumphs and they started into the distress. Claudius gains praise for his unerring resolutions and suggestions of influence. Third, Bacon then introduced the lesson of great philosopher Epicurus, who was a philosopher prompt to exercise restraints and is self-constrained to the in Francis Bacon's works, Francis Bacon extolled and encouraged a life of austerity and the danger of pleasure seeking. For him, great warrior insults the wiles of their pursuits, and the object of desires are an abomination. The sight of a story of man dancing the whims of his beloved women is an unfortunate reality. In a sense, it is disgraced and degenerate to the great gift of talent that those men would have otherwise used for great feats and achievements. In Bacon's opinion, untreatment and the unrestrained love only bring discomfort of man. Such impassioned desire for someone can only to lead to emotional and reckless of judgments, and it causes men to err trainability. It deroles their straining and importunates. People who are love struck emphasizes and the exaggerations about the beauty and the qualities of their beloved and the qualities of their beloved, and such heedy praise only cloud their sanity and the rationality. It reduces their ability to think clearly and often leads to the distractions of the inner balance of fortitude of man. Such undeserved and unwarranted praise of unbecoming of a man of substance and value, and such men compromise their wisdom to earn an approval of their women. Such hyperbole is an insult to their intellectual. Third, courting womanly affections. Such men suffer from a weakness of character. Such weak characters are easily discrambled in society. Such content of law are detached only ever have two outcomes. Firstly, in case the woman does not reciprocate the feelings she beloved, she labels the man and pathetic less being and treats him with sheer contempt. Secondly, she reciprocates and it had he become imprints by her beauty and affections. Francis Bacon warned the man who have such romantic ambitions to be aware of such consequence of amorous pursuits. It can lead to complete devotions and their ruin. He reminded them of the fateful demise of a man and impetuous by a woman named Helena in his mate persuades for her affections and he sacrifices lost the love of two other beautiful women, Juno and Pallas. He goes to the Adonis men who are chasing wild pleasures of the sense and womanly courtships in their carving for carnal gratitude, and they end up with sacrificing their wealth, health, and sanity. In moments of vulnerability, when men pull their guards down and they are impelled by such passions and desire, it had lead in the further misery. In moment of adversity and dignity, such desires and rare and infrequent. In times of comfort and abundance, and in time of sadness and distress, those man yearns earns for carnal and sensual pleasure. Both circumstances hide the man desires for amount engagements. It is compared to childish folly, and such folly, if unchecked, can turn into capture of health, riches, perfections, accomplishments, etc. etc. It can distract man from going after the truly great and noble environment in life. Now, Francis Bacon compared the weakness of man and women to that of wine. Be it brave warrior or mighty statements, all men are susceptible to the allure of a fine wine and beautiful women. To them, the pearls and the horror of wear and the politics and the affairs through the pleasure in the company of attractive women. According to Francis Bacon, men are immensely designed and saluted to need to love. They are born with the instinct to seek and spare the love. But if this love is explorations and they separate and ununiversally instead of being reserved for one person, it can be truly noble. It can be become a force for good. Such unfated love for the holy humanity can lead the characterable and endurance. Love is marriages and enforce for the creation of love, love in the form of friendship and honor and such life. However, unrestricted love of disabled and the depraved desires is ruined, unselfish and unworthy. Thank you so much for giving time, Yanimum.